Alright everybody, this is Razia here with Razia the Phoenix again. Today we're going to go over how to get the Warframe Frost. It's actually quite simple. Although this mission can be soloed, I do recommend doing it with a partner. All you have to do is defeat Vor and Lieutenant Krill at the same time. In order to defeat Vor, I would use anything with corrosive or radiation and just whittle him down. He will revive once or twice. But Krill is a little bit more complicated than that. You see, Krill has the ability to control fire and ice. The main one we're going to be focusing on is the ice. You see, if you are at a long distance, he will shoot at you with his Gatling gun, but if you get within range of him for his melee, he'll use his ice weapon. If you dash in front of him, if you hold L1 while you're sprinting, and just keep doing it repeatedly, he will swing. By the third swing, he will freeze himself, and that is when you were able to deal damage. You're going to want to shoot him into the back until all 4 tubes are off of his back, in which case he'll start using his fire, and he's no longer invincible, so you can just shoot at him at will. Of course, after you beat both bosses, you do want to head to Extraction, in which case you'll get one of the components needed to build a Warframe. You're going to want to repeat these boss fights a couple times until you get all 3 pieces for Frost. So for every Warframe, you're going to need a Neuroptics, a Chassis, and a Systems, followed by the blueprint, which you can normally find within the market. Now that we know how to get Frost, why don't we go over some of his abilities? Let's start off with the ability Freeze. Freeze is a frigid energy blast which allows you to freeze the enemy and the area for a certain amount of time. If you have an ability augment mod, you can target your allies and actually increase their weapons with ice damage for a certain percentage. So now we have Frost's second ability, Ice Wave. Ice Wave sends out waves of ice towards your opponent in a cone-shaped manner. If you have the ability mod Ice Wave Impedance, this move really comes in handy. That mod helps drastically slow down your enemies that are hit by the cone. But also, there is an ice sheet that lays over the floor for an additional 12 seconds after the move is activated that will also slow down your opponent. So now let's go to what really makes Frost helpful in the squad, the Snow Globe. The Snow Globe is a giant dome barrier that you and your allies can shoot out from, but nobody can shoot in from the outside. The ability mod for this one is actually quite interesting. You have a 50% chance of freezing enemies that walk inside your barrier. Alright, now we have his ultimate, Avalanche. Avalanche does a lot of AoE damage towards the enemies within your proximity. You'll freeze them at first and deal an additional ice blast that will usually break them if they die. The ability mod for this one is my favorite. It's called Icy Avalanche. Any enemy that is hit by the Icy Avalanche, you gain, and your allies, 60 ice shield, meaning for every enemy you hit, you gain additional 60 armor that they have to go through, and then they have to go through your shield, and then your health. And we already know that Frost is a tanky Warframe. So if you can get your hands on this Warframe and these ability mods, I recommend the combination of Ice Wave Impotence and Icy Avalanche. If you mix it in with a couple mods like Fleeting Expertise or Streamline that increase your efficiency, you can drastically slow down your enemies while constantly giving you and your allies additional ice armor. If you have the Warframe and are wondering where the ability mods are, go ahead and pop into your syndicate and check your offerings. You might actually find an ability mod for your Warframe, even if you're not using Frost. But in any case, you work for them and they give you points. These points you can redeem for these mods. Go ahead and check them out. I'll do a video on them later. So remember, just slide around Krill until he slams into the ground with his hammer and he will freeze himself, and that's when you can deal damage. But in order for him to freeze himself, you must shoot the tubes in his back. Once you destroy all 4, he will become enraged and become inflamed, and that's when you can deal whatever damage you want to him at will. Vor has a weakness to radiation and corrosive, but he has no invincibility, so you just kill him until he dies. He will come back 2 to 3 times, but 3 has been his maximum for me. Well, that's pretty much it about getting Frost, guys. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a like. If you have any gamer questions, again, go ahead and message me on Facebook, Frost the Phoenix. The link will be down below. Again, any games that you want to see posted about sooner rather than later, again, go ahead and post those down in the comments below. Other than that, I thank you guys for the rest, and, well, you should already know by now.
Subscribe to Frost the Phoenix.
Happy gaming.